Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Paladins Fall Qualifiers. My name is Revie. Joining me today is Hi-Rez, Pretty Hair, aka Nick, and we've got the second round going for you. We've got Beacon versus Eager, and on the left-hand side, Eager is using Z1 Unknown. He's going to be playing Evie. Awry, he's on Grok. Bitey on the Fernando, and I think he's got Launch 4 in there. He's also got Kami on his side playing Victor and ShadeeyShades on the Cassie.
Yeah, Beacon will be their opponents today. On the right side of your spectator, you are Revie playing Fernando, Sopsi on Grok, Supersully on Makoa, SnakeySnake on Evie, and MystXGoDZ on Bitey.
As they head out to battle here, there's a lot to be looking at, but I think Z1 Unknown's performance is going to be the big tester. They got two Eevees, SnakeySnake and Z1 Unknown. Z1 Unknown still is probably one of the better Androxuses in North America, but now it looks like he's going to have an easy first blood here on MystXGoDZ. The Barrack going down as well. He's going to blink onto the Makoa, and that's his next target. He's going to get the double kill. Z1 Unknown looking for the triple. The Fernando's running away, but he gets that as well. Triple kill as well. Killing spree for Z, and he's going for the 4. SnakeySnake's going to ice block immune that one. But is it going to be enough? Yeah, that mobility on Evie, it's going to be enough.
Zed Pastroni, everybody, just absolutely dominating right now. All up in the back line right now. Another kill going on to SnakeySnake that time, just by himself. Double kill. Look at this Evie. This is why I love this character, man. She can do it all by herself. Don't need no man. Although he does have Bitey on Fernando.
And another one, though. Z1 Unknown, he's got another triple kill. And he's got an ultimate already. He's using it on the Revie. He's got nowhere to go. He's looking for the kill, but he's got actually safety in mind. He'd rather hide up here. Zedwan Pastroni of Copy Pasta Industries looking for the Barrack as well. He's going to get it. No, the ice block is there, but he's surely dead, right? No, the blink, of course. You know, Nick, Evie is a champion of much contention right now in Twitch, in Paladins. People think she's too strong. People think she needs to be nerfed. What do you think?
One thing I think is going to be super interesting coming with picks and bans, Fernando and Evie. Which do you pick? You know, because they're both they're going to be so important, I think, to every comp. It's going to be very interesting to see who they go for with first pick.
And I think you're right. And is there a counter in some ways? Is having Evie without a Fernando, without that big shield to take away a lot of the pressure, so she can't just soar in and not get targeted or prioritized by all of these other players like the Fernando is?
It's tough because like Fernando has to be kind of on the front line. He can't babysit everyone in the back line, and so it just allows Evie to rip. But at the same time, if you don't pick up that Fernando, then who can frontline for you by yourself? It'll be tough to see. Like maybe they'll adapt into Makoa players being able to do it. We'll have to see.
See, I think Evie's actually pretty well countered by Makoa, who is not picked up here.
I agree.
Because Makoa's displacement is really strong, and those air hooks, although they're challenging, they're not that challenging. If you're a pro player and you need to know how to hit that hook even on airborne targets. And I think if you just pull Evie in, that moment of time before she can ice block where you get a guaranteed shot and anyone else on your team knows, hey, I got to pull, throwing your DPS, she's going to get dead. She's going to be dead.
Yeah, the hook in combination with the bonus damage shot following the hook, I think does somewhere in the neighborhood of 11 to 1200 damage.
Right.
So that's a lot of Evie's health. If she takes a shot from anyone and then gets hook combo, then it's curtains for her. So that is a good way to counter her, take her by surprise.
And I think a lot of people don't think, they don't see a lot of counters. There is a Makoa on their team, but the problem is when the Makoa is the only real major front line here, because Bitey's going down so, actually it's, they have a Barrack and they have a Revie here, so it's looking like it's feeling like Makoa is not really focusing the right targets because, you know, Supersully's still alive, but I haven't seen him pull or attempt to pull Z1 Unknown at all.
Yeah, Zedwan Pastroni kind of escaping the hook there. I'm going to call him that all day. I'm going to call him that all day.
But you're so serious, dude.
Yeah, yeah, Zedwan Pastroni.
Yeah, I have a meeting with Zedwan Pastroni.
Somebody just fell off the map. Barrack just rocket boots off the map. Here comes the
there it is.
Blizzard. Yeah, there's finally a hook now. But this triple shield comp, Eager just knows, they just know what to do against it. They're not even picking up they only have 2 records as opposed to the 3 they went with last round.
Well, again, that's why we saw earlier in the game a Cassie being played by main Debbie on the side of Nex. He picked up the Cassie, but he went with the Cauterize instead of the Wrecker. The Wrecker seems like a much better pick, and when you have a Cassie and a Victor, just throwing Wrecker on those 2 champions can probably deal with the majority of shields, unless they've got maybe another Ruckus. Then you may need to go for more of a character change like Bomb.
For sure there. So Eager taking a very dominant first game here. Zedwan Pastrone picking up yet another kill in the backline. ShadeeyShades finding one as well. Eager up 3-0, cruising this one in here. Just under 2 minutes remaining. Ancient Rage, though, he's going to be popped on the backline, trying to slow this one down.
And it just doesn't seem like there's any answer at all. So you want to know on a Rampage, 10-1-3. And trust me, it's not Eevee. It's not the champion. He's been doing this with Androxus for a long, long time. Eevee just is his weapon of choice. But the results have stayed the same. Now the Grok Ultimate's coming in, Surge and win. He's going to get Z1 out of there, but the Ice Block is going to bring him right back, and he's healing back up as well. The Immortal comes out on the side of the Fernando for Beacon, but that's not going to do enough. Bitey, however, is going to Immortal himself. Excuse me, it was on the side of Eager that Immortal came out of. Bitey's going to Immortal himself, stay alive a bit just to keep it in contention, but it doesn't look like they have enough yet.
That was actually a really phenomenal shield from Bitey there. Not only keeping his Grok alive, but keeping that healing totem safe as well to keep them both sustained up through that Blizzard. Now turning his attention onto the enemy. Fernando might go down here and will actually fall to SnakeySnake.
So, talk to me about this lineup with Barrick. It feels like he hasn't been playing. I haven't even seen Barrick in this game, it feels like. MystXGoDZ just not having as big an impact probably as he wanted. How do you feel about Barrick in the current state of the game?
Yeah, he fits the triple shield comp, right? But it takes a lot of setup time. And if they're not able to beat Eager to the point and get that setup or get that early pick, then it really struggles. We're seeing them finally able to stabilize here, so we might be able to see what this comp is able to do here. But with Zedwan Pastrone in the back line, it's going to be tough.
Very, very tough. Barrick, obviously a character that does very well in having his time, having the ability to set things up, and he just has been given zero time whatsoever by the hands of Z1 Unknown, and SnakeySnake goes down in the blink of an eye. That's going to be game. That's going to be...
That was quick.
That's going to be match one, going the way of Eager. And again, we mentioned this just now. I'm going to hark back to the Barrick. He hasn't felt impactful enough for me. I want to see, personally, either a different champion come out or a different style of strategy come out from one of the other champions. Maybe it is dropping the Makoa if you've got a Fernando and Barrick and picking up some more DPS to be able to deal with and put some pressure onto ShadeeyShades, Kami, and Z1 Unknown, who are just doing so much work.
Yeah, Barrick's turrets for me are just too squishy right now. He puts them down, and as an EV player myself, I immediately just focus those out. So Z1 Unknown from anywhere on the map, doesn't really matter how slow her projectile speeds are, can just pop one off right at that turret, and it's going to go down in one shot, and then Barrick is just stuck with that 10-second cooldown.
They've got the shields, they've got some healing, but they don't have the damage. Let's see if Beacon can bounce back in Game 2 against Eager, coming up right after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Game 2. We've got Eager versus Beacon. Eager taking a commanding Game 1 victory. And, of course, my name is Rain Day, and I'm joined by Hi-Rez Pretty Hair. We're covering Game 2 here to see if Beacon has an answer. They've changed up their lineup a bit, bringing Cassie into the lineup, so we'll see how that works. Z1 Unknown on the Eevee still, ShadeeyShades on the Victor. Kami will be on actually Grok this time instead of the Victor he was playing, and Awry brings in the Kinessa, whereas Bitey stays on the Fernando.
Yeah, so Beacon not wanting to go with that triple shield comp again. Have made the switch off the Fernando onto that Drogos as well. That's a good counter to Bitey's Fernando, so it's another good way to bait out those Immortals there to kind of make some room for them to operate with their Wombo combo ultimates.
Yeah, it might help for a lot of their teams just to get a little bit of pressure now that Fernando ultimate's gonna have to be used or his life will be lost if the Drogos focuses him. Then to just make sure that Fernando goes down a lot quicker because he won't have that kind of escape card, that trump card essentially to stay alive and made out some damage. But Supersully already doing the right thing, coming around the corner, taking down Kami, and a nice start so far. The hook misses, though, so close to bringing in Awry. That would have been a dead Kinessa for sure. But so far, I really like the play of Supersully just being able to target some of the squishies and get himself available. There it is. Pops into... Was that Ancient... I thought it was Ancient Rage, but he couldn't have built that up yet.
So he will fall down to Awry there after the hook there. That I see why he got confused. It showed 600 there, which is the amount of damage that each swing of Ancient Rage does. That was a post-hook shot, so that should have done somewhere in the neighborhood of 1100 damage there. So now Eager now back in control of this point, but the boys of Beacon are moving back out in numbers there, picking up Awry on their way in.
And some really nice chain lightning damage on to the approaching Revie as well as Supersully. But look at this, Supersully just getting basically taken down by Kami, who does a fantastic ghost walk, immuning the Dragon Punch, although he doesn't immune the Fire Spit. I guess you can immune the Dragon Punch, but not the Fire Spit there. So Drogos is going to get you one way or the other. And Supersully gets a kill on a Bitey with a really nice pull. I'm liking Supersully's Makoa play now.
Yeah, he's having much more impact on this character there. Now finding a lot of pulls. Z1 Unknown, though, in the back, and Awry taking matters into their own hands, take back the point virtually by themselves here. ShadeeyShades showing up at the last moment here to begin the retake capture for Eager.
And there's just no way to get around this Kinessa at this point. Z1 Unknown is doing a great job of flanking, and even as they attempt to get near, there's just no way to outscope this Awry, and he takes down MystXGoDZ as well from a distance. So Kinessa obviously not very good on the point, but she brings a lot to the fight if she's able to be protected.
Yeah, she's kind of more of a snowbally character, in my opinion. If your team is in control of the map and you're not being pressured out, Kinessa just makes things so easy. There's just so much long-range pressure. She can operate from a very safe distance, especially when there's no enemy Eevee pressuring her out right now, which she really is not finding herself in the way of. She's actually taking the heat to the enemy Eevee.
And actually, Awry is hitting his shots, too. I mean, part of it is that sometimes you have a Kinessa who can't hit their shots. I think for me, Kinessa is a very performance-dependent champion. If she performs, she's fantastic. If she just underperforms slightly, she's almost not worth it. But Awry is literally hitting everything. A perfect headhunter there to clean up the Makoa, getting the crits as the upper body shots, and finally SnakeySnake decides to focus on the Kinessa, but it's a day late and a dollar short.
Yeah, the BM after the bell there, absolutely dominating there. Baits out Ancient Rage and then just pops headhunter to chew right through it. They're going for that nimble there. Bitey gonna go ahead, pick up the Chronos this time. ShadeeyShades gonna grab himself a Wrecker and a Life Rip, and one more Chronos onto Zedwan Pastroni.
Zedwan Pastroni, the CEO of Copy Pasta Industries. He's doing pretty well, 5-2, not like the 8-9 streak he had at the very beginning of the game. But everyone on Eager seems to be very, very strong in their performances so far. Interesting burn card choices, though. Sopsi picking up the Rejuvenate. Don't usually see that onto a Cassie.
Yeah, it's cheap. It may have been her only option there. She is sitting 0-4 right now, so not a whole lot of options, not a lot of credits going her way. So it does provide decent value for how much it costs.
And now Supersully, I'm really curious. Can he get a nice pull here? He's got to force into the shield, but it's really going to come up on, can he pick out the Victor? Can he pick out somebody important here? He might actually go for the Bitey. He does the Bitey, I say. It actually ends up getting a very good ultimate coming out from Kami in return. And that is just going to clean up Supersully, and Awry's going to finish off Sopsi. And now getting back to this point fight with a Kinessa and a Fernando on these easy chokes, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, Beaky going to be hard-pressed to capture this one back out there. Not much retake potential here. If any, this one is already 70 points in Eager's favor. Zedwan and Bitey are already out on the zone. ShadeeyShades picking up an early pick in this fight.
It's a little unfortunate, too. I'm watching Supersully. He's hit 3 nice hooks onto 3 targets, but they keep getting pulled, actually, into objectives, and so he's not able to confirm his damage. That would be a bonus damage effect for him and really put the pressure on. So it's kind of like things just aren't going the way of Beacon today. It seems like Eager might have been a little bit up to the challenge for this squad as they have it set up. And so it's kind of like looking like they need to go back to the drawing board here.
Definitely. Eager with a couple of new members right now as the Dragon Punch is coming out, though. It probably will not find Eevee. She can just ice block it through that, but it does look like we have a slight pause coming out here right now.
And this is probably from the boys of Beacon. So talk to me. What are they going? What's going on in their heads? Just looking at the stat lines, looking at the dynamics here, knowing this could be the end of the game.
They just might be looking to figure out their comp. You know, they made a pretty drastic switch off the 3 shield comp here, running that Drogos and that Cassie this time. So I wouldn't be discouraged if I were them. Just kind of use this time, figure out what's working, exactly what's not. 0-7 on the Grok, 0-5 on the Cassie. Both good picks, but maybe not fitting into what their team really needs from them right now. Maybe we want to look at something like Fernando. Fernando's such a safe, staple pick there, looking to hold down the front lines there. Makoa has to be kind of on hook duty or frontline duty. He can't really be both.
Right. And right now he's on hook duty. And I like that's kind of what I was thinking too. If they had the Fernando and the Makoa just went on hook duty rather than shield duty, I feel like he's playing much more offensive in this game. If he was doing this last game, they would have had a better chance.
Yeah, we can take a look at his build here, actually, see what kind of stuff he's running. He's going to run that Barrier Reef there, kind of for, this is more of the front line build that I was looking at. Leviathan, just that base health increase, kind of another good front-running card as well.
Yeah, and Leviathan again for me, it's more of like Evolve. Makoa
kind of
I think next patch, Makoa will have all of his cards filled out. I'm not sure if he has 16 cards now. They may do some adjustments, some reworks. He'll probably have a better card selection. Leviathan, one of those things that for me to put 4 points into and only gain 600 health for such a big health champion. I think Makoa has. What does Makoa start out with here in terms of
he's like 4,400 base.
He's at 5,000 health.
Yeah, so 4,400 base.
So to take 4 points in that, to me, it just seems a little bit like you kind of got a min max. I'm not typically a math guy. I'm more of the idea that you pick a build, but you really outplay more so than outbuild. In most scenarios, it can always come down to play superseding it. But in these scenarios, I just think there's so many better options.
Yeah, for sure. I really do like the Tidal Grace card that he was running there to reduce the cooldown there on that Shell Shield based on how much damage you take. He knows he's just going to be shredded down. ShadeeyShades picking up that wrecker kind of lets him know that he has every intention of not waiting out that shield. He's just going to go straight through it.
And the other thing we should probably talk about is Bitey and looking at the way that he played Fernando versus the way that we saw. I'm missing my names, but Nex had someone playing Fernando, and he was using an Evolve form, and that was just giving him extra 500, 600 health. He's taking 4 points in that. He didn't even have launch in his build, and I was just saying, this doesn't seem like the way, but we see here Bitey running that launch 1, but actually running Hot Pursuit 3. Talk to me about this. You don't usually see Hot Pursuit and running Start 3. I don't usually see that. I see Launch 4.
I love it.
Last Stand 4 here a lot.
I love Hot Pursuit, running Start 3. These are the aggressive cards. They allow you to stick to your target. So you run up on a target, right?
Right.
You hit that fireball, and it basically increases your movement speed to the point where the movement speed penalty from firing doesn't really affect you that much anymore. You're able to just stick to them while firing.
Right.
As soon as you feel that movement buff start to fall off, and it's 3 seconds, and the cooldown of Fireball with Incinerate 4 and Cronus is only about 4 seconds there. So he's able to fill in the gaps there with running Start there, just charging, closing the gap, and doing a good job sticking.
Talk to me. What is the key in terms of just the last question about this? What's the perfect round? What's the perfect round of launch? Do you get launch 1, 2, 3, or 4? What is the perfect one?
It's just kind of coming down to what you need to supplement it. We see it's almost like a style pick. We see Elvapath go with that launch 4. What it does for him is gives him the option. He doesn't have to take that whole distance every time. He can cut it short and cancel the dash at any point during the charge to get exactly the amount of distance that he wants out of it.
So that's Nick's decision. Let's see. I want to see how people pick it up later on in the tournament and see with the Fernando. Of course, he's going to be played later on. Which types of teams decide to go for what level of that card. It looks like we're going to actually cut for a moment just to make sure everything's working on our end in terms of the tournament. We'll be right back once we have a clear answer and get back into this game for you. Okay, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So it looks like, as we did realize there, we always, assume the pause, but ended up being a stasis mode that the game went into, and thus the game continued to be played. We just, on a spectator side, fell out for some reason. Now the game has finished, and we're actually going to be moving on. Since that was the last point in the game, it actually ended up going the way of Eager as the game had been dictating. So we're going to miss that final point that would have pushed it over. Eager wins the set and moves on. We will probably be switching to the other side of the bracket for the next game, which is going to be match point. And we're hoping for everything to be going well there so we can get you a full finishing moment and you can see all that. But so far, it looks like Eager will be taking that, and good games to Beacon as well. Thank you for coming in. We hope to see you next weekend, and we'll get you going in the next games as soon as we can. Stay tuned to the screen.